Hi everyone. I've just done this tweet yesterday on Twitter, and it says, "Don't believe the crap reviews about Cloverfield Paradox because it's an absolutely brilliant film. Remember, these critics are the same people who say Last Jedi is good. Bad. Don't make me laugh." And the interesting thing is, one of the actors from Cloverfield Paradox has liked the tweet, John Ortiz. So maybe this John Ortiz guy doesn't like The Last Jedi then. That's interesting. Considering J.J. Abrams works on the Cloverfield films, but he also works on the Star Wars films as well. But of course, Last Jedi was directed by Rian Johnson, though. So, anyway, the Cloverfield Paradox, 17% by critics, 59% audience score. When I looked at this yesterday, it was 60 odd percent. So that's interesting. I think it deserves higher personally, but there we go. I mean, I'm not saying it's the best Cloverfield film ever. I think the best Cloverfield film ever was 10 Cloverfield Lane, but still. I think this Paradox film is better than the first Cloverfield anyway. So, Transformers The Last Night, 16% by critics, 45% audience score. So, Cloverfield Paradox by critics, 17%. Transformers The Last Night by critics, 16%. So that's only 1% difference. So that's interesting. Now, again, I think Transformers The Last Night should get a higher percentage. Because I actually think it's the best Transformers movie ever. Like, well, apart from, like, the Generation 1 movie. So, yeah, I mean, I'll admit Age of Extinction was pretty bad, but The Last Night was really good, though. Like, I mean, I liked the end of Age of I liked the end of Age of Extinction, what with Mark Wahlberg and the gun and everything. Anyway, in this Last Night film, I really liked the Vivian Wembley character. I thought she was much better than Rey was in The Last Jedi because Rian Johnson pretty much ruined her character. Anyway, so Blade Runner 2049, 87% by critics, 81% audience score. I think that's really interesting considering not many people watched it in the cinema. But it is a really good film, though. An awesome film. Excellent acting by Harrison Ford, Ryan Gosling, and um, and Ana de Armas, and everyone else involved in the film. But again, this is a film that deserves higher, in my opinion. Like a higher percentages by critics and normal audience members. So, Professor Marston and the Wonder Women, 87% by critics, 79% 79% audience score. So, again, another film that deserves higher percentages. Like, this was an awesome film as well. Like, basically, the people who rated this film low, basically, they're anti-feminists, and they don't like kinky things that much. Which, in my opinion, those people were repressed, and they need to have a more open mind. If more people saw Transformers The Last Night in the cinema than they did Blade Runner 2049, then how come, like, Transformers: The Last Night's audience score is lower than Blade Runner 2049's. It doesn't make much sense to me. Maybe it's because Transformers is a more established franchise. Like, we've had loads of Transformers films, whereas we've only had two Blade Runner films. So, and also, like, Transformers has a massive history of cartoons, like, going back as far as the 1980s, and obviously, like, a massive toy line as well. But I think, in a way, like, Transformers is for people of all ages, or, well, people 12 and over. Like, whereas, like, Blade Runner is more of an adult thing, isn't it? So there is that as well. So the thing is with this Cloverfield Paradox movie, like, some things were predictable and other things weren't. So, I thought it was a very complex movie, like, with two different realities. So the people who's rating this film low, I just feel they don't understand it because it's too complex for their brains to comprehend. Whereas a person like me, I'm highly intelligent, so I understand it pretty much totally. Like, obviously there's still questions that have to be answered, but that keeps the viewers interested, and the mystery deepens and it slowly unfolds. So, like, this franchise basically keeps people guessing. So apparently, Overlord is the next film in the Cloverfield franchise, and um, basically, it's due to come out in October of this year. But it wouldn't surprise me if it got pushed back. But it apparently there's rumors that Nazi zombies might be in it, and apparently it's set in World War II, and it's got the one he plays Fitz out of Agents of Shield in it. It's interesting because it's Cloverfield Paradox movie. It had the one he plays like Bullock out of Gotham in it. I'll give you an example of one of the things that was predictable in this movie. Like, the whole thing about that Schmidt guy betraying them in one reality and not betraying them in the other reality, like, that was predictable. Like, you could see it coming. Like, the stuff to do with the communication logs and everything. Like, but a thing that wasn't predictable was the whole thing about uh, the kids of the Gugu Mabutha Rule character. Oh yeah, another thing that was predictable. Um, as soon as I saw, like, that woman in the wall with all of, like, the pipes and wires in her, like, I thought straight away, oh, she's obviously from another reality, or she's, like, teleported from Earth onto the space station somehow. Like, I thought it would be like either one or the other of those scenarios. Like, because I thought maybe what they were doing with that particle accelerator machine may have made certain people teleport, but I was wrong about that. But yeah, I thought it was absolutely awesome at the end of this movie, uh, where you see the monster from the first Cloverfield movie. Um, Sorry, that's a bit of a spoiler. So, um, Yeah, sorry about that.